Alright guys, it's Canadian and today we are doing another VOD review for a YouTube user, let me find it, Jason Wang. He is a Platinum Zarya player. This is going to be on Eichenwalde. If this is your first time watching one of these, I am Canadian. I do these VOD reviews 3 times a week, usually at 1 p.m. Eastern. This week we're doing 2 p.m. Eastern, we're just trying it out. I am a 4200 main Zarya player. I have a pretty active YouTube with lots of VOD reviews, Zarya guides, stuff like that. That'll be below the channel in the description. Check it out. Anyway, let's get started with this one.
Yeah, please. You have a widow or something? Oh, huh.
Damn, that was unfortunate. Your Symmetra just got destroyed.
Oh, huh. I did have a widow. For sure I got a widow.
You're Maywalled preemptively. You guys are running a shield comp, by the way. Reinhardt, Symmetra, and Orisa. You don't really see that often, but I like it. Good job eating spam, walking in front of the Orisa shield to get that spam.
I got shield. I got
Good discipline so far with your projected barrier. I've seen a couple opportunities where other Zaryas would have barriered, but you're still holding it, which I like a lot. They haven't engaged on you yet. They haven't really pressured you yet, so you don't need to use that barrier. So good job there. This one right here this barrier is a good barrier because it's a good barrier in the sense that it's accomplishing something. Your Reinhardt takes the barrier and starts swinging. I don't know if I would have used the barrier. Like, you guys did just get a pick on the Ana, so more likely than not they are not going to push in down their main healer. So you can be a little more lenient with your barriers, but I don't think you've really won the fight yet. So this is like a 50-50 barrier. You're gonna get some use out of it, but you could also be punished for it. Man, the Widow's just killed both your supports in the last 15 seconds. Genji killed the shield gen. That's unfortunate.
Kill the Ryan, kill the Ryan.
What was your Reinhardt doing? Did I miss something? He just like let them waltz in. Right here, where did he go? Oh, he's super weak from Widow. He's got like 10 HP. I don't know if you guys saw that. I'll go back and show it. Right there. Look how weak he is. He can't do anything. He's got like 10 HP, so can't really fault him for falling back like that. What's up, Mr. Tooth? So they walk in. Orisa's trying to hold the front line here. So if you bubble an Orisa that is using Fortify, it's not necessarily redundant because Orisa can still take damage, but at the same time, you're minimizing the value of Orisa's Fortify by putting a bubble over it. It's just like bubbling a Winston inside a bubble. That's kind of the same thing as bubbling a Orisa that's fortified. Now, I'm not saying you should never bubble a Orisa that's fortified because, like I said, they still can't take damage, but it's not the most efficient use of cooldowns between the Orisa and the Zarya.
Genji?
Oh, that Genji. Dude, look, this Widow, man. She has gotten 2 kills on Mercy, 4 kills total. She killed Symmetra, Mercy, Orisa. I mean, this Widow is just opening up this point for them.
Ryan.
Good job killing that Reinhardt. By the way, let's slow it down. Excuse me. So, by the way, I think I know where your heads are right here. You saw the enemy Zarya jump, and you were trying to toss in a grenade, which I'd highly recommend. So, good job there. Your head's in the right place. Great bubble on your Reinhardt. He's extremely weak. You want to keep him up. You want to keep him in this fight. Oh, I take it back. It didn't get on your Reinhardt. The Symmetra jumped in the way at the last second. That is unfortunate. I mean, look, you totally want the Reinhardt, right? There's nothing you can do. Symmetra is directly in front of the Reinhardt, but kudos to you. You had the right idea. You're trying to shield your Reinhardt. Well, I mean, the Symmetra is, kind of bringing it back. She just got 2 big kills. She's about to get a 3rd. Finally, the Widow, again, takes out another support. Reinhardt's playing the smart, just putting his shield up. Oh, that Widow got so greedy. Pushing into your Reinhardt, standing on a health pack. I mean, she just is overconfident, very overconfident. Great shield from your Ryan. Oh, that was unfortunate. I'm just gonna go back real quick. I feel like I haven't seen many bubbles from you, which isn't a bad thing. I just want to make sure I'm not missing them so we can see their value. So good bubble there. You're fighting the Zarya. This bubble's great, right? Your Reinhardt's at like 20 HP, and the Widow's like, I want to kill you, so that's a great bubble right there. Where'd your... I guess... Oh, you were eating the spam with your personal shield, which isn't a bad thing. Definitely not a terrible thing because that's what you want. But the two lines between the two teams are a little bit closer than I would like. There's not like a giant distance between them and you. So I don't think you're like in a poke phase. Like if they were at the choke and you're here, that's a little more of a poke phase, only because the archway is like a natural barrier. But when they're pushing the point like this, again, this a small bit of this is hindsight because we see you get earth shattered. So we're talking about the personal shield that you just had. So you ate the spam, which was good. You shielded your Ryan from the Widow, which was good. So you don't have any cooldowns right now. It's just some a word of caution is what I'm getting at. I'm not saying the self shield you just had was bad. It's just as we see in the next 4 seconds, right? He charges. Your Reinhardt gets a great counter pin. You get a great bubble on your Reinhardt. However, I think your Reinhardt mispositioned because he should be trying to maintain like in front of the enemy Reinhardt. He should be standing right here in case something like this does happen. You get earth shattered, and if he had been standing here, again, hindsight, if your Reinhardt had been standing here and you gave him the shield, that shield would have blocked earth shattered and it would have been a really nice play. So again, so far you're playing really well. Good barrier discipline. Nothing, glaringly terrible. That was just a good play by the enemy Reinhardt to get that off. Looks like you do get rezzed here. All right, so this shield right here definitely not needed, right? If we get resurrected, and we're gonna look at our Orisa. I mean, she is full HP and she has her own shield up. No reason to shield her there. No one's even looking at her. So definitely don't. I wish we hadn't done that barrier. See, this barrier is like, now you're just like, crap, I wish I had a barrier, because this would have been much better. You do your best to tank for him, which was nice, right? We see the two Reinhardts collide. You step in front of your allied Ryan, use your personal shield, trying to tank some damage so that he doesn't get killed, which it looks like it works out, right? Your Mercy's able to get some heals on him. He's got the sliver of HP that you have granted him with your smart personal shield play, so good job. They do use sound barrier, and then you grab a little bit of a mistake there. If you hear the sound barrier come out, you want to kind of wait for it to go away before you graviton. Plus, your Reinhardt is extremely low, and you don't have any barriers. So, I'm just expecting him to die. I don't think this Mercy's gonna be able to heal him through, incoming damage. Oh, the Ana grenade, by the way. We just saw that the Ana grenade is gonna come in huge. Let's talk a little bit more about this graviton. What are we seeing as Zarya before we press, the Q, before we use our ultimate? So we see Lucio sound barrier, we see Reinhardt right here, and I think that's really all we see when we use this graviton. We only see these two threats. And again, not that catching two people is bad. Catching two people is completely fine. You just need to make sure they're key members and you have sufficient follow-up to kill them, whether that be an ultimate combo or just the sheer firepower of your own team. So I already mentioned, it's unfortunate you grabbed after, and I feel confident saying after the sound barrier because we rewind and take a look at this. Lucio definitely sound barriered, right? As Zarya, we hear the audio cue, we hear him saying, let's drop the beat. We see the shields on them, so I just kind of wish we would have held this just a little bit. However, again, like I said, catching key members and then being able to clean them up is what you look for in a graviton. So catching Reinhardt and catching Lucio are great key members. You're taking away speed, you're taking away heal boost, and you're taking away the big 2000 HP shield that the enemy team wants to play behind. This Reinhardt, I feel like he misplays by not throwing up his shield. He's just sitting there swinging at absolutely nothing. I don't think his shield was broken. Like, if we rewind, here's his shield, right? He's got his shield, he's got his shield. There's no way his shield is broken. He had his shield, he charged, gets stuck in the grab and just swings. So the enemy Reinhardt is definitely misplaying here, which kind of enabled your team to make the most out of this graviton. If he had put up his shield, it definitely would have been a lot harder for your team to capitalize on this ultimate. Yeah, I mean, he's just sitting there swinging, which is just kind of, baffling, right? Now you guys killed the Reinhardt, you guys killed the Lucio. The fight's kind of going in your favor. Good discipline not to bubble your Rein there, right? There's no need to bubble your Reinhardt 1v1ing an Ana, especially that's getting healed by Mercy. Definitely don't need to do this bubble, so good job there. So it looks like Pharah and Genji and Widow are all still up. Yeah, there's Pharah shooting you. You shield yourself, which is good because Pharah was dunking on you, but there's really no reason to shield this Ana here. The only reason I'm not going to focus on this barrier too much is because you guys have basically won the fight already with 3 enemies dead. Lucio, Reinhardt, and Ana are all dead. So this barrier I'm putting in the realm of we've won the fight barriers. So we're going to let that one slide. Again, we want something out of that barrier. I think we will get some energy from it, so it's not the worst barrier. I'll kill the Widow. Oh, that was weird. Right, so now look, now look at the 2 front lines. Right, we've got one front line here, one front line here. Now we know that we're not in a poke phase anymore, right? These two front lines are a little too close to each other to really have a long enough, like, 8-second poke phase, right? And I say 8 seconds because the cooldown on projected barrier is 8 seconds. So if you used one now, chances are something would happen in the next 8 seconds that you wish you would have had it then.
For you, Ryan.
By the way, I'm liking the communication I keep hearing come out from our Zarya player. He keeps saying, I've got shield ready for you, I've got shield ready. That's really important. It lets your frontliner know, lets your Reinhardt know, and everyone on your team know that if something, goes wrong, they can, hope that they get that projected barrier to, rectify their mistake or make a play. So like if our allied Reinhardt wants to do something like charge into this corner, which honestly I would recommend here. Look at, I mean, the 2 Reinhardts are close to each other and he's standing in front of a bunch of walls. He knows, this Reinhardt knows because of the communication that a projected barrier is ready. You guys are going to get barraged. Look at this cluster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 enemies in just like this tiny circle. If I was the Pharah, I would be looking for a barrage. The other thing I want to say real quick is I think your Reinhardt is playing much too passive. He had plenty of opportunities to, make an engage out of this. Okay, it's unfortunate you woke him up. I really wanted your Ryan to charge that, but... Oh, look, there's Widow killing your Mercy. That's unfortunate. Again, look at this cluster. We've got Ana right here, Orisa right there, and us right here. The enemy Pharah should be, like, right above you and just kill all 3 of you. Wow, he has another Earth Shatter, as does your Rein. The 2 Reinhardts are just on par with each other. They both Earth Shattered at exactly the same time, 2 fights in a row now. Your Reinhardt makes a great play to save your team. I mean, I don't usually talk about Reinhardt play, but let's just watch this Reinhardt play, right? Both Reinhardts have Earth Shatter, so when our allied Reinhardt rotates behind the enemy Reinhardt, the enemy Reinhardt's like, oh look, a free Earth Shatter. And the allied Reinhardt's thinking the same thing. He's like, oh look, a free Earth Shatter. So I mean, this is just like, it's a high risk, high reward play for sure, because he got the counter Earth Shatter, which was huge. And your own Orisa looked like she used Fortify and put up a barrier, which also helped you guys, win that Earth Shatter battle. Again, the main threats here are Dragon Blade and Barrage, definitely. Let's look at your barriers, by the way. Good job there. You used your shield and walked forward into Reinhardt swinging his hammer. Good discipline to recognize that he is swinging and can't stop it. Where was your projected barrier? It was on your Reinhardt trying to make a play, right? This is a barrier that's assisting an engage, and so this is another great barrier to enable your Reinhardt to get off this Earth Shatter.
I'm dead.
So your personal shield here really can't blame you for it at all. 65 HP, you don't want to die. You use your personal barrier to protect yourself, completely fine.
Genji, one shot.
This barrier on Reinhardt appears to be a we've won the fight kind of barrier. I probably would have tossed on whoever this is because they are taking damage. Yeah, it is Symmetra. She does go down. So let's just go back and look at that one more time. Right, we're fighting, fighting. Zarya, we are low, so we're a bit afraid. We've regenerated quite a bit of health, but I think our player's still in the we have 60 HP mindset. By the way, let me try yellow, guys. You think yellow's better or red? I feel like blue's. Let's do red today. So we are in the 60 HP mentality still because our shields are regenerating. We're not really looking at it, which is fine. So we're just trying to look to be useful before we duck in for this health pack, and so this barrier we get, we don't see our Symmetra start to take damage till afterwards, and this is why, you know, it looks like we've won the fight, which is why we're using this barrier as Zarya. Right, let's see, Reinhardt goes down, Lucio goes down, but we also lost Anna and Mercy, so now it's a 4v4, so the fight's not won yet, so you have to still play smart with your cooldowns, with your barriers, and since the fight's not won yet, right, because if we're paying attention to this kill feed, we know it's 4v4, we have to make sure our next barrier is impactful. Maybe this next barrier is going to win us this fight. So unfortunately, we do toss this barrier onto Reinhardt when we see he is full health and there are no enemies around. Let me just make sure Genji's not hiding somewhere near our Reinhardt. I think he is. Yeah, okay, so Genji is right here. We see that he's super weak and our Reinhardt's full HP. So it's safe to assume this Genji is not going to kill our Reinhardt. So another reason not to use this barrier on our Rein, right? So far the reasons are Genji's weak, our Reinhardt's full health. We don't need to use this barrier. And then we see off on the side that our Symmetra is fighting Widowmaker right here, and we see her health just get absolutely obliterated. So, you know, looking at this in a review format, you know, this probably would have been the better barrier, and the lesson here is to just, you know, keep track of how many allies and enemies are alive, and then think of have we won or lost the fight yet, and if it's still an even fight, which it is in this case, then you still have to be smart with your barriers. And I mean, this barrier, I mean, I think we can all agree it's just a little unfortunate that we bury our Rein full HP, not really fighting anyone, and then our Symmetra dies off on the side. Oof, that is unfortunate. This Widow has just been complete pain. I definitely like that you're just going right after the Widow because she has been such a pain. I would have liked to see one grenade come out. So you see how she's lining up a shot right here? She's just ignoring you, trying to shoot at someone. If you throw a grenade at her, or sorry, shoot a grenade at her, that's going to knock her up, or knock her around per se, and throw off her aim. So that's the one like micro tip here I have for you. And then definitely when you started to see her get low, like right there, that jump, she's just asking to be grenaded at that point. You know, let's just look at that one more time. There's the grenade there I was hoping for. Right here, this jump, she leapt from right here in this arc. She is going to land right here. And that's when you just flick over, toss the grenade. Oh, excuse me. Let me mute that. Oh, no, that's not it. I don't even have it open. I don't know how it's showing up. But yeah, that's when you flick over, toss that grenade. She's got about 30 HP. You have 37 charge. That grenade would have definitely killed her. You do miss that one, you're forced to reload, she gets the health pack. Now you're spending all this time chasing her when, you know, one well-placed grenade probably could have finished her off and you could have returned to this fight. I don't know, it's looking pretty dicey. Good personal shield, by the way. No, it's pretty standard personal shield. You're in a fight, you're being targeted, you shield yourself, so good job there. Even though it's basic and standard and expected, I still want to give you props for, you know, those good barriers and call you out on the barriers that I think could have been better.
They have a Genji though, so I'll go monkey after. Contest, let's go. Ryan, charge, Ryan.
All right, look at our Zarya. Our Zarya is trying, you know, really embrace, you know, this communication at the Zarya Ryan duo, right? If you guys can hear it. Our Zarya is saying, you know, contest the payload, Ryan, I've got a barrier, go ahead and charge. So all of that is very good, right? Charge. You know, we want him to get aggressive because we're here to support him. He does charge, unfortunately, and hits nothing, which is a shame. Good rotate around the enemy Reinhardt to make sure at least one of you is hitting him. Good personal shield on yourself to cleanse yourself. And I think you also shielded your Rein and cleansed him. So just so far, just two really good barriers. You didn't cleanse them, but you did block the effect of the grenade. So you cleansed yourself. So far, really good barriers, right? We saw our Reinhardt was in a 1v1 with the other Reinhardt, and well, I shouldn't say 1v1 because you were there, but the difference maker was you being there shielding your allied Rein, definitely, and it enables you guys to kill that frontliner and, you know, snowball this fight in your favor. Again, just another small thing, not necessarily something you did poorly, but don't forget to utilize grenades. I mean, Lucio is pretty quick. Fortunately, this Lucio is not like jumping around at anything. He just kind of strafes to the side, so he's an easy beam kill, but if you see someone like this, just get in the practice of, you know, tossing a grenade at him, securing that kill maybe from long range or when they turn a corner, stuff like that.
Yeah. Get ready to swing away, okay, right? I'm gonna hide here.
So, our Zarya is saying get ready to graviton. I have grav. You know, I'm going to be using it this next fight. That communication is important. It's putting the idea in your team's head that a graviton is coming. An allied graviton is about to happen. Be ready.
Get ready.
Wow, that awareness, though. Oh my goodness. This Widow appeared out of nowhere and shot our allied Widow right in the face. Wow, she walked right past us. This is where a grenade is a good idea. Like, you beamed her, but it didn't throw off her aim at all, and she shot your Widow in the face. If you had shot a grenade at her to get the initial burst, then she might have missed this shot. Now, I'm not saying you knew she was going to shoot your Widow in the face, but the whole thing about Widowmaker is she has to take time to meticulously line up her shots, and Zarya grenades do a great job of making that much more difficult for her. So, you know, I'm not expecting you to save your allied Widow. She just gets completely outplayed, but you know, especially versus Widowmakers, use the knockback from your grenade to throw off their aim. All right, let's talk about this graph. So, we just lost an ally. We know that the front line is here, but we're forcing this grab. I know we've been communicating we want to grab this fight, but I think it's a little bit too forced, right? Especially with the payload right here. We could have, you know, hopped on the payload and jumped off to really get. So this ground is slanted, and the payload's right here. So let me redraw that. Here's the slanted ground. Here's the enemy team. Here's Reinhardt, and here's the payload. This, like, just standing on the payload gives us so much, you know, leverage to shoot, like, jump and shoot a grab over Reinhardt because of the height difference. And so you're forcing this grab really hard. You just deploy it right into the Reinhardt shield, which isn't my favorite. You catch the same two you caught before, which was Lucio and Reinhardt. And again, from your communication, your allied Reinhardt knows that this is coming. You get a great barrier on him so that he can swing at the targets trapped in the graviton. And, you know, this Reinhardt shield's not going to stop, you know, your allied Reinhardt swinging. So this is a great barrier from you to enable him to swing at this grab. He probably is going to kill that Lucio. If we see right here, he's just had a sliver of health. I just want to see you get a little bit more creative with your approaches to grab, because I think if we look really closely, we can see the enemy Ana in the backline. Yeah, here, I saw her. I'll try and pause it and point her out. Okay, right here is that enemy Ana. And I know she is far away from you know, their allied Reinhardt, but if you have to pick a healer to kill, especially since we know Lucio just used Sound Barrier, the healer you want to kill is definitely this Ana over this Lucio. And like, based on our positioning, like, we were hiding, which is fine. You know, I'm not gonna really get into hiding for gravitons. I do it too. It's A, fun, and B, catches the enemy team by surprise. But if we had waited or been using this vantage point of the payload, we might have been able to see maybe there's more squishy members standing near Ana. Now, realistically, I don't expect that to be the case, right? We just saw the enemy Widowmaker. The enemy team is running Pharah, so really their only low ground enemies are these three right here. So unless you catch these three in a graviton, you're really only going to be catching, you know, one or two. So from the information you had, right, you see 3 enemies, and the graviton you did, it's not a bad grav, but it's oh, I think the enemy has a Genji too, excuse me. But he could just dash out of Graviton. So from the information you had, it's not a bad Graviton. It's very standard. You force it right down the throat of the front line, and you guys, with the assistance of your Rhine, you are going to clean this up. But I would say just don't force it so much. I know you want to grab, the enemy team is contesting, so this is a good time to grab, but like I said, the main criticism here is just get a little bit more creative with your approaches. This is still a good graviton, this is still a good fight by you guys, especially the shield on yourself, the shield on your Reinhardt, right? The Lucio goes down, the Reinhardt goes down, which is extremely, what you're looking for. It's very good. It's very well played. Just be cautious of being like your next graviton. I would not recommend doing that because the enemy team knows it's coming at this point. It's because it's very standard. Good job turning around when the Genji went behind you. Good job turning around in case he started to go on someone. You had the barrier ready. That barrier on Reinhardt is fine. We've won the fight. It's more of a like we've kind of entered a poke phase. If we're seeing right now on screen, the two teams are jockeying back and forth. They're not actually fighting. But this next rotation of barriers we have, definitely want to hold. I still don't think I've seen a barrage from the enemy Pharah, so just something to watch out for. We just saw the Nano Blade come out, so that threat is down. What do we have to worry about, right? It's going to be, the barrage and probably the Earth Shatter out of the enemy team.
Shadow, right? No Earth Shadow.
Oh, perfect. Our Zarya says in game they have Earth Shatter, right? That's beautiful. That's exactly what we're looking for. Now, again, he's putting the idea in his head. Watch out for the enemy Reinhardt to Earth Shatter. Very good communication. So remember, you've been doing a really good job so far with your personal shields. I'd venture to say this is like your worst one. Make sure you see the spam on your screen before you use your shield. You shield right here, but no one has shot at you yet. Reinhardt was thinking about it, but then right when he sees your shield, he just stops. So you had, again, right idea. Oh, wow. He misplayed so hard. He earth-shattered right into the Orisa shield. This is so unfortunate. Oh man, this is a great barrier on your allied Reinhardt, by the way. You see he is in the fight, he is swinging, he is purpled, so again, great barrier out of you. A great, like so far, great projected barrier discipline. You've been doing such a good job of really, using your barriers in the right situation. For the most part, I already did talk about the one you had on Reinhardt versus Symmetra. But for the most part, you've been using them correctly in poke phases. You've been using them correctly in these fights. So, just good job there. Just really solid barrier discipline. I'm not expecting anyone to be perfect. If you guys watched my stream on Friday, you know that I am not perfect. We had some games where we struggled with Zarya, and it's normal. So, but overall, you're playing very, very solid. You're still barrier discipline, you're not using your own, very good. You still haven't even used your own, even though you're both purpled, which is still very good. It's finally, right, finally when you start to take some damage, do you finally use it. So again, it's just, you've been doing, like I said, you've been doing a really good job with these shields. Right now we see that we are now eating the damage from the enemy Pharah, us and the Reinhardt. So we get 2 great bubbles, right? We cleanse both of us from the Ana debuff, and the Pharah gives us a free, I don't know, 40-ish energy, and it works out really well. Now still, the main threat still is the enemy barrage. You called out the Earth Shatter, but are you aware of the barrage? Either I missed it, or she still has it. Good kill on this Tracer here. Again, I'd recommend one grenade versus her, but that's a fine kill.
I got shield for you.
Great communication. Watch the barrage. Great barrier again. We're not in a poke phase, obviously, right? The whole enemy is right in front of us. We've got Pharah, we've got Genji, or the enemy Ana is coming back. But your Reinhardt, he's... Oh, and the Lucio, if you saw, he was right here. And it looks like that's a Widowmaker. Your Reinhardt, he's at half health, and he starts swinging, so it's a great barrier. Also, you've been doing a good job of using your whole magazine. I think my main weapon comment is work more grenades into your like flow in attacking Zarya. Like there was a bunch of grouped up squishy enemies, right about right here or so, and now that she broke line of sight, you are reloading, which is fine. So I'm not expecting to grenade here. I'm just saying this is a great kind of moment to grenade because you can like shoot it right here and then the splash will still hit the enemy Ana. Now, like I said, I'm not expecting you to grenade because you have no ammo, but you've just been favoring beam very heavily. Mercy res is gonna come through and resurrect the front line. Beautiful res from your allied Mercy. The great. Wow, I forget what it's called, guys. Supercharger from your allied Orisa to really force your guys' damage, down the enemy team's throats. So my summary of that round is, again, you had very good shields, very good barrier discipline. There was just one or two we saw that, just like one or two more seconds of waiting or analyzing what's happening could have made those little barriers just a little bit better. How many grabs did you have? I feel like I only remember. No, you had two, right? There was the one on Reinhardt Lucio and your second one on Reinhardt Lucio. The first one I already commented. I wish we would have waited for the sound barrier to decay a little bit, and the enemy Reinhardt did misplay. Not putting his shield up after you grabbed, so that was kind of fortunate for us as Zarya. And then the second one, again, your options were limited on who you could grab. Just a side note, Pharah, although she does have boosters, she is unable to escape Graviton. So if you can catch her, it's definitely a plus. Genji would have escaped. Widow can escape. So your choices really were Ana, Lucio, and Reinhardt, and you caught two of the three. So like I said, it was a fine Graviton. It's just try and get just a little bit more creative with your approaches, especially. But you were hiding, I guess. So that was creative, is where you were hiding. It was, and oh yeah, definitely use grenade just a little bit more. In your rotation, especially versus characters that really rely on aim, like McCree, Soldier, and Widowmaker. Grenades really throw them off because they can't line up shots as easily. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the video. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on the right hand side, and if you want to see more videos, check out these two on the left. Again, thank you so much for watching and have a good one.